Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is here, and this game is absolutely amazing. Glad we got that out of the way. Guys, when I tell you this game is unbelievable, it is so good. Like seriously, this game has to be Game of the Year. I refuse to believe anything else. I have been absolutely obsessed with this game for the last weekend, the last like 4 or 5 or 6 days, however long it's been since it finally came out. I have been obsessed with it because of the fact that this game is just absolutely awesome. It is so good. Now, I guess I should probably tell you guys what the heck I'm talking about. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This video is all about me just gushing about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and basically talking about my first initial thoughts of the game. I have been playing this game for about 12 to 13 hours. So I think I am pretty well vested when it comes to the game, and I think I have a good initial idea of what the game is gonna be like, how the game's pacing is, and you know, the combat and all of that good stuff. I think I have a good idea of how it's gonna go. So I feel pretty qualified when it comes to sharing my opinion when it comes to this game.
You what?
Now, without any further ado, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. All right, guys, so let's get the graphics out of the way. You already know 2 different settings, graphics or performance. And obviously I went with the performance. You know, I value 60 frames per second over, you know, a little bit better graphics. But this is not exactly a big issue when it comes to this game because of how absolutely gorgeous it is. Like, it still looks amazing despite it being on performance mode, which is just so awesome that they're kind of blurring the lines when it comes to that. There have been a lot of people online that have been saying that the graphics don't look as good when you have it on performance, but I mean, I'm using a 77-inch. The thing is gigantic, and I can't really tell the difference. I don't really feel like I see any, you know, artifacting or any bad graphics when it comes to this. So graphics, this game is absolutely gorgeous. And they like outdid themselves when it comes to this aspect of the game. Now, number 2, one of the biggest things that got a huge overhaul when it comes to the game is honestly the gameplay. The gameplay is where this game shines. It is so different compared to what Final Fantasy VII Remake was, whereas Remake was basically set up in like a, you know, like a section per section way. So you'd go to a certain sector, and then right there you'd have a main mission, and then you'd have side quests and stuff like that. And then you move on to the next part where you get a little more lore and story, and you know, it just keeps building upon itself like that. And Rebirth is not like that at all, which is awesome because that was just, honestly, it was good. It was good for its time, but that just was not the best way to go, in my opinion. But it made sense for a remake because, you know, that part of the story is really linear in the original game. So, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal at all. But Rebirth just completely opens up. Like, you get the first section, you know, which is the demo where you experience the part where Cloud is telling the story, and he's basically talking about his experience in Nibelheim with Sephiroth and all that kind of stuff. And then right after that, man, it just kicks into high gear. It just opens up. The whole world just opens up. And you have this like giant main area where it's the grasslands area. And that's where Calm is at. That's where the Chocobo Ranch is. And you know, the marsh and all that, you know, the beginning part of the game, you know, the Mithril Cave, all of that good stuff is there. It took me 10 hours to get through that. It took me 10 hours to get through this part of the game. The beginning part of the game took 10 hours. And not just like 10 hours, but like 10 hours in a minute. So it was like exactly 10 hours, which is just so mind-blowing because there's so much more to the game than just that single area. But you know, it's just a really fun game. They didn't just bog you down by giving you a bunch of stupid side quests like, oh, hey, deliver some water. You give this water to NPC number 3.567-4. thank God that they chose to not do this. There are some, you know, little side quests here and there. There's about like 4 to 5 of them, I believe, in Calm. But not just that, it's not just side quests, there's also different forms of gameplay too, which is the card game. The card game. What's it called? Queen's Blood. I mean, we obviously know this is a callback to Triple Triads from Final Fantasy VIII. And when I first played Triple Triads, I didn't like it because I didn't understand it at all. I didn't know what you were supposed to do, so I just kind of skipped over it and I hated it. But then, you know, the last time, you know, I went back and played that again, and I played the card game and it made sense and it was awesome. And this is no different in this game too. The card game is really good. It is also kind of confusing. Like, I don't 100% understand what exactly I'm doing, but I mean, the game is just toting beautiful visuals, and then you got this nice little jazzy music playing in the background, which just sounds really awesome. Like, I absolutely love that. And I love that, you know, it kind of just breaks up the game a little bit, you know, it kind of makes you slow down a bit and, you know, have a little bit of fun, you know, test your strategy, that type of stuff. I really enjoy that, and I think that is really, really cool. So, yeah. And, you know, there is also, one of the side quests ties into that game too, which is really cool. But there aren't, like, it's not like you don't have like 40 people to fight against in this Queen's Blood game. Like, it's only like 3 or 4, including one of those side quests, like 5 or 6. So it's not that much. And by then, you know, you're able to buy some cards, you've won some new cards, and, you know, you're able to make this game a lot easier. So when I got to the point where you could buy cards, I bought the cards. There was only like 4 or 5 cards that they let you buy. And you buy those cards and they literally made you OP. Like, I didn't lose a single match. Well, I think I did lose one, but like, it made you super OP right after that. And it was great. It felt so good, especially because of the fact that at the beginning, my first match, I was stuck there for like 30 minutes. It was bad. Like, I literally kept losing over and over and over and over and over again. And I was just like, what is happening? Like, am I just meant to not beat this guy? And it was just a regular dude. All right, that's enough about Queen's Blood. Another thing that I really, really enjoyed is the chocobo aspect to it. This is one of the things that they changed. You know, they took a little creative liberty when it comes to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and they changed it a little bit. I don't want to spoil anything, but what I will say is that chocobos are like really integral. I don't know how to say that word, but you know, they are really crucial and necessary to you exploring the grasslands. And there is a lot of stuff to explore. Like, there's different combats that you have to do, like fight certain enemies. There's little like pools, like these little aquatic looking pools of the live stream. Like, there is just a lot of stuff to find, and and remember, I said this is just the beginning of the game. This is just the first 10 hours. This is the first area, and it's all of that. Like, oh my goodness, yes. And on top of that, they also went a little bit deeper, well, a lot of bit deeper when it comes to the item crafting. Like, they made it so that you collect a lot of materials, which this really felt like Xenoblade, honestly, where you're literally just going around collecting items and little things to craft with. You know, by the end of the game, you're gonna have like, your inventory is gonna be like 1,000,000 items deep. But I thought it was really cool, and I really appreciated the fact that you can make unique items. You know, you can make materials for quests, you can make healing potions, you can make accessories and stuff like that. There's like so much stuff that you can make. So it's really cool, and it incentivizes you to make a lot of different things because you get a level. So you level up your crafting ability, and the more you level it up, the more things you're able to craft. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I am pretty sure that's probably the way that you're going to be able to get a lot of your like final or strongest weapons and armor. So that is really exciting to, you know, that's a really exciting thought to have when it comes to that. because I do like crafting. I'm not a Minecrafter or or a Fortnite guy, but I do enjoy a little bit of crafting. A little bit of crafting never hurt anybody. Yep. And yes, like I said, I have been playing this for about 12 hours now, so I am past the main area. I did everything that you needed to do in there, literally everything. And I am moving on to the Mithril Cave, and I've just had a ton of fun when it comes to this part of it. Like, it is just, who has this happened to? Where you have a game that is just like nostalgia overload. Like, it is a game from the past, from the 90s, and they just remade it. Like, that does not happen to everybody. There's a lot of remakes, and a lot of good remakes too, and a lot of bad ones. But I have just been having a blast. Like, the song, seeing Elena, the Turks and all that. It is just, it is just amazing. And I, for one, cannot wait to see the end of this, the conclusion. But, we are far away from that. Rebirth just came out, and this is the second part. We're not even going to talk about the third part. And I don't even know what they're going to call that. Honestly, I think they're going to call it reunion because, the reunion's at hand. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. Square Enix, if you want to hire your boy, I got you. We'll go live in Japan. Like, we'll move the whole family out there. We'll do it. But yeah, guys, those are just a couple of bullet points. My initial thoughts of the game and how it's been so much fun. And I have been loving it. I'm not a big fan of the little androids. I forget his name, but he's a little white-haired kid, and apparently there's another one now. She's a girl. She's just as annoying as he was, but I digress. This game is honestly, in my opinion, I think it is pretty safe to say I think this is going to be game of the year, unless Elden Ring gives us another run, which if they do, I'm about to fight somebody. It better not. Like, that's just DLC, okay? I mean, yeah, I get it, it's a whole new world and all that, but come on. This game deserves it. It absolutely deserves it. All right, guys, thank you guys for watching to the end of the video. And as always, guys, don't forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more awesome content just like this. All right, guys, we will see you on the next video. Peace.